public schools. Representatives make her a role model whose legacy can serve as a powerful inspiration for our scholars. Again, I would like to welcome you, and we hope you enjoy this historic day, just like the woman for whom this building is named. Thank you. I am now pleased to introduce our District Chief Executive Officer, Eric Gordon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, we can do a lot better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. That sounds like Stephanie Jones. Good afternoon. So, Principal Smith-Benson, thanks so much for hosting us today. We have an official order of meeting that needs to occur. I think, a shirt for every school in the city, but I do not yet have that Stephanie Jones shirt. So, we need to take care of that. All right. I am going to be very brief because we have a really great panel of guests that want to speak on this important occasion today. But I want to start by just recognizing a number of dignitaries that I noticed were able to join us today, and not in a particular order, so screw them out, that's how you come in. But we have with us today our State Board of Education member, Noel Johnson. Noel, can you recognize? Keyboard member with us, Dr. Meredith. We have County Councilwoman Meredith in the audience. We're also hearing from County Councilwoman Conwell and City Council Kevin Conwell, and Kevin reminds me the best name. I believe State Representative Upchurch is with us today also. And State Senator Deb Martin, maybe not, maybe on the way. And then we also have our former Councilman Jeff Johnson is with us. So we have a very full program with dignitaries behind me that you can introduce to momentarily. And then we'll be doing a ribbon cutting to make it official that this is now Stephanie Jones School right here in Memorial Day. Into the program, it is really my honor to introduce Mervyn Jones, who is the son of Stephanie Jones, who will take on our program.
Eric, sorry, I'm tall. Eric, thank you for the introduction. Everybody who's here today, thank you for taking the time out of your day. Right now, I'll be picking up Stephanie, who's right there at the school from Greenview and South Euclid. And I know plenty of you need to have iPads and was able to be here with us. Councilman Conwell, Council President Point Burton, thank you so much for all this go through. You have been striving for this for so long, and I'm happy to be here for it, to be a part of the process. I'm looking forward to a whole lot more coming from this area, from my own where I grew up. On to my mother, we'll start the show. Hey, you wrote, Case Western Reserve again for graduate school. To Congress, back in Cleveland, to where she finally rested her head. This is a full circle moment. For those who didn't know, my mother had a group of girls that she parented, mentored for years. And after she passed, they became my sisters. I stay in touch with one of them as I can today, and they are doing well. Some are nurses, some are police officers, other first responders, parents are doing great things in this neighborhood and in this country. moving forward from all the hard work that my mother had laid out. This is what has come from. Education, as my mother once said, isn't just about schools, books, buildings, athletics. It's about believing. You have respect for the teachers have respect for you, you have trust. And the name Patrick Henry didn't qualify for that here in Cleveland, Ohio. If you look at the history books, Patrick Henry stands for slavery, bigotry, hate, against people that look like us on a regular basis. Right here in this moment, this is where things got turned around immensely. Sorry, my phone keeps on locking up. Congresswoman, thank you for everything done. All the red here in the seats, including my wife, I would love to be there, so love. Thank you again. You've always been sisters, aunties, and everything else above board. Meredith, thank you again for everything. I remember when we didn't turn for my mother, long time ago. And look where we're at now. This is all about education and bringing the next generation. He's perfect proof of that. Chantel's perfect proof of that. Her father's training in basketball so many years ago. And this is what the community and education is all about. And this is what I want to say thank you to the community. As much as I am not here, I am here. And if you ever need me for anything, thank you again for welcoming me home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Congresswoman Chantel Brown.
Sorry, I'm a little slower than you too. Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, come on, we can do much better than that. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Mother. I do have some prepared remarks, but I just want to say, as a proud graduate of Cleveland Public School, I really see great things from young. We had an outstanding name to start with. My warriors are in the house. But today is such an amazing privilege to be able to come before you and celebrate a pillar of this community who has done so much for so many. So again, greetings. It is an honor to join you all on this beautiful day for the Stephanie Tubbs Jones School Ribbon Cutting. It means so much to celebrate this special day with Meredith, Stephanie, Meredith, Chief Executive Officer Eric Gordon, and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, again, which I'm a proud product of. Councilman Kevin Conwell, my former colleague, Councilwoman Conwell, and the Glenville community, as well as all of the close friends and colleagues, and I forgot to acknowledge the Deltas, and the friends of Congresswoman Tubbs Jones. Today's vision began in 2008, and I'm sure you'll hear more about this from Councilman Conwell, because he introduced the legislation to change the school's name to honor his friend, and I would say our friend, who proudly served Ohio's 11th congressional district until her passing that year. Now, although Councilman Conwell received some resistance, he remained steadfast because he recognized scholars deserve to proudly walk through the halls of a school that bears the name associated with excellence and the name of a woman who consistently and constantly fought for justice and democracy, and most importantly, for the people of the 11th Congressional District. Today is truly a historic day of celebration for scholars in the Glenville community as we commemorate the first Black woman from Ohio elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, a proud Cleveland Public School alumni and champion for education. Let her name continue to remind us that we are standing on the shoulders of giants who fought tirelessly to see so many of us succeed. And we are changed through the carrying of the baton of excellence and passing it off to the next generation as they prepare for the next leg of this race. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. And next, I have the pleasure of introducing our mayor, Meredith.
Thank you so much. I just first want to acknowledge the resilience of this man, Mervyn Jones. You know, as y'all know, I'm real close to my mom, and a mother's love could never be broken. And so, Mervyn, we are counting on you, and we thank you for living here in respect. There's a lot that I remember from the late Councilwoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones. I remember that she was a proud and faithful member of Delta Sigma Theta, by the way. I'll remember this big, bold smile that could light up any room she walked in. But the biggest thing I remember is her loyalty. And I never forget this story. It was the height of the 2008 campaign for the Democratic nomination for president. And as you know, Congresswoman Jones was a big supporter and fighter for Hillary Clinton. And she got pressure from across the country to support the brother, Barack Obama. And until she passed away, she always stood by Secretary Clinton because she was loyal to the union. She was loyal to her district, and she was loyal to the city of Cleveland. That's her legacy. Let's remember that. But also, let's remember that she laid the pathway for our Secretary of Housing, Marsha Clutch, and one of America's brightest stars, our Congresswoman, Chantel Brown. And so the young people that are here today know that you stand on the shoulders of giants. And as your mayor, I'm counting on you, and the city of Cleveland is counting on you to live up to the legacy of Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones. Let's keep fighting for justice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Ed. Next, I would like to introduce Council President Elaine Griffin.
Good afternoon. Come on, now we're here for a great day. You guys can do better than that. Good afternoon. We're here to celebrate STJ, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, and you can't get excited about that. I don't know what you can get excited about. Merv doesn't know this, but back in the early 2000s, Stephanie Tubbs Jones adopted me. I'm serious. She actually took a lot of us under her wing, and what she did is she taught us the ethics and moral values of what it took to be a public servant. She had an electrical smile that could light up a room, as Meredith just said, but she also always knew where she came from and never would forget. She would always be able to connect the boardroom and the streets and be the master translator of the causes that were important to people every day, but make sure that she also went to the homes of Washington to advocate for those same people who she knows she came from. She was educated, she was book smart, but she was also street smart. Stephanie has always done a masterful job of training the next generation. Never would I have thought, one of Stephanie's pupils, as I am, that I would be the bridge to working with other generations to bring new generations to the next level. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here today. I actually had a few other things on my calendar, but I thought it was extremely important for me to be here today so that we could witness Black excellence, or just excellence period, of who Stephanie Jones was. I also want to take a very brief moment to just acknowledge the resilience and commitment that my colleague, Kevin Conwell, showed to make this happen. Congresswoman Brown was right. There was a lot of headwinds coming our way when he first said we shouldn't be naming schools after slaves. And then he lobbied the school board, but then he took it a step further and said, we're going to show young Black men and women in this city what excellence looks like by naming this school after Stephanie Jones. So it's an honor and a privilege to be here today. And Councilman Conwell, to you and Councilwoman Conwell, thank you guys so much, because today is a proud moment for the entire city of Cleveland, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Ruth Wise, who is the president of the Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Thank you. To Eric S. Gordon, the CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, Ann E. Abrams, the board chair, Robert Hurd, the vice chair of the Board of Education, and the other members of the Board of Education, to Natalie Smith Benson, the principal of Stephanie Jones School, and to the vice principal, to the numerous teachers in this school, to Congresswoman Chantel Brown, to Mayor Justin Bibb, to Councilman Kevin Conwell, and to County Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell, to Blaine, President of the Council, to the family of Stephanie Jones and her daughter-in-law, the illustrious members of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, to all of our distinguished visitors whom I have not named, and friends, and graduates of this school, including my husband. I am Ruth Price Rollins, and I bring you greetings from the Greater Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, where I serve as president. I am so honored and so humbled to be invited to stand before you on this celebratory day, and I thank you for the opportunity. I have one of my favorite coffee mugs with me. I even bought it. And printed on this mug is bloom where you are planted. You like that? Bloom where you are planted. There's something that's left off of this mug, because once you're planted, you have to grow before you begin to bloom. Stephanie Jones was planted right here in Cleveland, in this very neighborhood, and she did grow. Planted in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and continued growing at Case Western Reserve, where she earned her degree in sociology, minoring in psychology, and where she also earned her law degree. We are so proud that she became a member
member of the Greater Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority on April the 2nd, 1982, while she was serving as a municipal court judge. You probably have already heard somewhere along the line that Stephanie Tubbs Jones was appointed to the County Court of Common Pleas, and she was a Delta. She was elected as the first African-American county prosecutor and the only Black female prosecutor in an urban area in this country, and she was a Delta. She served in Congress with numerous assignments, including being the first Black woman who held a seat on the prestigious Ways and Means Committee, still continuing to grow. And she was a Delta. She just continued to grow in all of her accomplishments, which were many. She was a Delta. I am certain that her memory will be an inspiration to all the students who pass through these doors, as well as students in this entire school district. She represents to these students that they too can be a congresswoman, or a congressman, or a mayor. Stephanie Tubbs Jones leaves a legacy that will encourage these students that they can have any career they choose. She was a woman who strived to improve health care for all and the education and welfare of children. And those are some of the thrusts of our programming in Delta Sigma Theta. Oh yes, she was a servant leader. She was a Delta, and her sorors here in Greater Cleveland, where she was planted, are so very proud to have watched her grow, and we are honored that this school now bears her prestigious name. Stephanie Tubbs Jones will remain vibrant in our hearts, as well as this community where she was planted, where she grew, and where she bloomed. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Our next guest speaker is Cuyahoga County Councilwoman from District 9, Meredith M. Turner. Please welcome her.
Volunteered on one of the Congresswoman's campaigns or worked in any of her offices, prosecutor, judge, or congresswoman. Would you please stand and be recognized? And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Dr. Betty Pinckney that's in here, serving Good afternoon. I'm Councilwoman Meredith Turner, District 9. So happy and humble to see our Congresswoman Chantel Brown. To the students that welcomed us when we came here, let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah.
Councilman Conwell, thank you so much for the opportunity to work on this project with you. It was my heart's work. Thank you, sir. To the leaders of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, members of the school board, President Kerr, CEO Eric Gordon, Dr. Lee Buddy Jr., thank you for inviting me to be present at this most important event, the dedication of the Stephanie Tubbs Jones School of Higher Learning. Oh, I think I added that part. I am reminded daily of the impact that the late Congresswoman had on my life. I love her. Being here for this historic occasion gives me the opportunity to share that I miss, probably like you, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, as a leader, as a friend, as a mentor, and role model, as a sorority sister, and as a voice for those who were often ignored by society. Her leadership was so important to all she met. Her life and legacy will be an inspiration for generations to come. I am proud to have called STJ my friend, She had an enormous presence that could not be overlooked. You always knew when she was in the room. Her beauty, high energy, dynamic personality, quick wit, and beaming smile simply could not be ignored. To say she was charismatic is a drastic understatement, and anyone who met her would surely agree. Outlining SGJ's biography and list of accomplishments would take way too much time, and we've heard many of them already. Those of us who were fortunate to interact with Stephanie know that she was a woman of faith, passion, and commitment. Her family always came first. She may have been prosecuting a high-profile criminal case or chairing a committee in Washington, D.C. But if her man-child, Mervyn Jr., had a game or a school event, you can rest assured that she will be there for her son. As her time in the public eye extended, we all practically watched Mervyn grow up right before our eyes. Her pride and joy, she outwardly doted on him. And as part of her extended village, we continue to celebrate his accomplishments in her absence. At any of her campaign events, her parents and her sister Barbara were always nearby and beamed with pride at her accomplishments. And her love for her husband, Mervyn Sr., was absolute. Despite her high local, state, national, and international profiles, her family and sorority were always the focal point of her life. I am a proud member of the Greater Cleveland chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a national public service sorority for Black women dedicated to scholarship, sisterhood, service, and social action. I am honored to have had Stephanie as a mentor, and I am humbled by the fact that she wrote my letter of recommendation. Delta Sigma Theta is over 100 years old and has members and chapters around the globe. From its birth and through its infancy and beyond, fighting for women's right to vote, participating in the civil rights movement, to the advocacy of women's health initiatives and advanced educational opportunities, Deltas all over the world have been at the forefront of so many issues important to Black women, our families, and our communities. Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones embraced me and showed me that Black women working together cannot be stopped. Her insistence, persistence, committed to justice and excellence and leadership are beacons for me and the public service career I have chosen. I'm proud to call her my role model. I had never seen it. If I had never seen it, I could have never believed I could be it. I thank her for allowing me to be a part of her journey, this journey of womanhood, Delta, and service. But apart from all of the firsts and all of her accomplishments, she was a proud Clevelander. While her family and her work occupied much of her time, she never forgot her Cleveland roots. She proudly referenced her graduation from Collinwood High School and boasted of her days as a railroader. It was the city of Cleveland and its schools that laid the foundation for Stephanie to achieve all of her life's successes. And she would never forgot where she came from, and she took all of us along wherever she went. I know we wish we all had more time with Stephanie. Just one more of her home-cooked meals on Wade Park. But God had a different plan for her, and I am sure that she is looking down with pride as the Cleveland School is named in her honor. Her name will live on as future generations of Cleveland students learn about her life and accomplishments. And while that is important, I am positive that she would say that the most important thing that came from this school renaming is that future generations of students will see her accomplishments and say that they can too achieve excellence. All of us can't be lawyers or judges or congresspeople, but we can do our best to succeed in this gift called life. Although there are other edifices, structures, programs, awards, and events honoring her, STJ would be proud to see this school named in her honor and would be even prouder of the successes that the future graduates of this school will achieve in coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Now I have the pleasure of introducing Reverend Charles P. Lucas, who is a 1956 graduate of Patrick Henry School. and he is the pastor emeritus of my church, St. James A&M. So let's welcome